What's going on, Master Duel fans? James here again. Deck profile for you guys from Season 51. Ancient Warriors is the way to go. And ever since crafting the extra copies of the link just to complete the deck, Royal Copy came up and I figured, why not try the deck out over the course of, testing sessions from Thanksgiving 2025, and this deck does so much going second. And if for whatever the reason I'm forced to go first, you got to maintain control of certain monsters at all times. So deck profile for you guys. And I'm going to start off with the non-engine first. 2 Droll, 2 Imperm, the only hand traps, because we're pretty much in a format where K9 exists now, and it makes it so that you want to try to dodge from using monster effects from the hand or graveyard as much as possible when Imperm can cover it the most. And this helps you play out through thrust and or tactics talent as well. War Breakers, Dino Wrestler Pankratops for going second. Card is absolutely fantastic, and it helps you apply pressure to your opponent. Raigeki, Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, Tactics Talent, Tactics Thrust, 2 Forbidden Chalice, Call by, Blizzard. And then triple tanky 1 not much to say about it because, tanky is your searcher, level 4 lower beast warrior, and Tensu is your double summon of any beast warrior. And Brotherhood Firefist Buffalo is only there because the combo line along with Brotherhood Eagle, which is, again, fantastic. Normally, you send a total of 2 Firefist / Formation cards from hand or field to the graveyard to summon the guy, but with Brotherhood Eagle, you get to do this for free, so not an issue. Ancient Warriors cards. 3 Masterful Sunmu. When forced to go first, you want to see Sunmu the most. You can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard to add 1 Ancient Warriors monster from your deck to your hand. So Sunmu is your Stratos of Ancient Warriors monsters, and while you control another Ancient Warriors, your opponent's monsters cannot target this for attacks. So attack protection, Graceful Zhugong, and Eccentric Lu Jing. Just one of them because you want to use their effects at a proper time, just to bait out the ashes the most. So Zhugong enables to target 1 continuous spell trap you control. Same concept with Lu Jing. Real cool news about this in terms of sarcastic yet fantastic cool news. Because targeting a continuous spell trap, which is the cost, and not sending it would have been the original cost. So the case is, if any of these 2 cards are getting disrupted, the targeted card stays. So most cases, Zhugong's resolution is send it to the grave to add a Ancient Warrior spell trap from deck to hand. So Stratos of a Ancient Warriors spells and traps, while Lu Jing here recurs an Ancient Warrior spell trap with a different name from grave to hand. So Lu Jing, to be specific, you basically send a non-Ancient Warriors face-up spell trap you control to the grave to trade it for any Ancient Warriors spell / trap, basically. And then any given time where you trigger another Ancient Warrior's effects between the three, Sunmu is able to target one monster your opponent controls, kick it back to the hand. Zhugong has the ability to target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn, and Liu Jing enables to target one spell trap your opponent controls, kill it. And this must be done outside of the damage step any given time. Masterful Sunmu, if forced to go first, puts up work the most. Graceful Zhugong card is MVP in terms of working with your continuous spells. And Liu Jing, this is for post turn 2 or later. 2 Liu Xuan and 2 Zhu Kong. When it comes to Liu Xuan, to be specific, as a blind second deck at all times, you want to see Liu Xuan the most. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special one Ancient Warriors monster from your deck that isn't Liu Xuan himself. So he is the E-Telly of Ancient Warriors. When an attack is declared involving another Ancient Warriors monster you control, free draw one. And while you control another Ancient Warriors monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. So Liu Xuan and Sunmu have the same concept in terms of attack protection, if you happen to have these two together. And Zhu Kong, when it comes to being added from deck to hand by the effect of an Ancient Warriors card, fun fact: Liu Xuan on the free draw one, if you happen to draw into Zhu Kong, to be specific, his hand effect still works. He ends up free special, aka Ancient Warriors Popular, before Popular was ever a thing. And when it comes to negate the activation of something, you must send a face-up Ancient Warriors continuous spell trap to either A, spell trap negate, or B, if you specifically control Liu Xuan, that will be your monster negate. And that monster negate catches the most off guard. And that monster negate comes up like half of the time throughout the current season, which is something. Fearsome Zhang Yuan. This card can clutch up when you don't have any offensive plays going in terms of board presence of your opponent's higher attack monster. Zhang Yuan enables to, at the start of the damage step, whenever your Ancient Warriors monster battles, while Zhang Yuan is in your hand, you free special it and it debuffs your opponent's monster's attack by 1,000. Non-targeting, by the way. So this deals with Dragoon in terms of combination of cards to make sure that Dragoon gets outed a lot easier, which is never an issue. And then if a card your opponent controls gets killed by a battle or card effect, you can target one card your opponent controls, kill it. So built-in Unchained Abomination of sorts. And when it comes to Zhang Yuan being on board, other Ancient Warriors monsters you control cannot be killed by battle. Savage Dan Ying. While you control a level 7 or higher Ancient Warriors monster, not hard to do, your opponent must pay 400 life to activate something. And when it comes to the summon, normal or special, out of Savage Dawn, he enables to get a level 7 or higher Ancient Warriors monster or an Ancient Warriors continuous spell trap from deck to hand. So Savage Dawn is the Super Stratos of higher level / Ancient Warriors back row searchers. And if a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard, doesn't matter how, outside of the damage step, you can target one card in your opponent's graveyard, spell / trap included, banish it, and if you do, free draw one. 2 Loyal Guan Yun. He is the targeting protection out of Ancient Warriors for everyone else within card effects. If only your opponent controls a monster, you get free special this from your hand. Not a hard once per turn, by the way. So if you dare Canine Ripper this, okay, activate its effect again. Gravedigger's Trap Hole, trigger it again. And then the on-field effect is a hard once per turn. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can target one monster your opponent controls, kill it. So, spot removal. Valiant Jande. This card, going second to be specific, is a stone cold killer along with Borrowing of Arrows. If you don't stop the dynamic duo pairing, you're actually dead. Extra 300 attack for each monster your opponent controls during your turn only. And then when it comes to the following effects of Zhang Dead once per turn, if you control 2 or more Ancient Warriors monsters, free special from hand, and if you have less monsters than your opponent does, he is a built-in Cyber Twin Dragon, 2 attacks on monsters. Rebellious Lu Fang. Can't be normal summon set, must be special from hand, no other ways, by controlling the highest attack Ancient Warriors monster on the field, even if it's tied. Not hard to do because, 99.99% of decks that are not Ancient Warriors, that is an automatic free special right this instant. And then the 0.01% is the mirror match. So whenever a mirror match occurs, make sure for a theoretical is where, like, for example, Jande with the highest attack as much as possible. You do that, that's a free Rebellious Lu Fang special. And then when it comes to its effects, once per turn during the end phase, if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack on the field, even if tied, give it to your opponent. And then for the main phase effect out of Rebellious, the turn you trigger his effect, you cannot trigger any other monster effects except Ancient Warriors. The case is, once per turn during the main phase, as a quick effect, you can destroy the one face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. Your choice if tied. Non-targeting, by the way. As for the Ancient Warriors, continuous spells. Deception and Betrayal, East by South Winds, Borrowing of Arrows, 3 visits. Now, 3 visits and East by South Winds, they pretty much have a time limit where they must send themselves to the graveyard during my second standby after activation. But you don't need to worry about that because some Ancient Warriors can help you send it to the graveyard right this minute. Or unless if you're the opponent where activating their negate effects to destroy the card or back row board wipes like Feather Duster or Lightning Storm as a precautionary, you don't want to touch them, you don't want to destroy them, because you will plus me and put me back in the game. So, the side effects about whenever they are being sent to the graveyard. 3 visits lets you special summon 1 Ancient Warriors monster from your hand. Borrowing of Arrows if you happen to have two Ancient Warriors monsters with different attributes, this enables you to place a continuous spell trap of an Ancient Warrior's name from your hand or deck face up to your field that's not borrowing arrows, and then once sent to the graveyard or from east by south winds, for which, by the way, you normally do this from a Ancient Warriors monster in terms of field to grave to send its cost or coin toss it. And if it's heads, go straight to the graveyard. And once being sent to the graveyard, this enables you to, throughout the whole entire turn, anytime you trigger your Ancient Warriors cards or effects, your opponent cannot respond to it at all. So it is a Sky Strikers multi-roll of Ancient Warriors. And at the time, any of the Ancient Warriors monsters on the field, when East by South winds trigger, also currently gains this effect. When this card declares an attack, you can does not target, kill one card your opponent controls. Now, as for their real effects, 3 visits during your main phase. If you normal or special an Ancient Warriors monsters, more than one, you can target one of those. Add one Ancient Warriors monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. So, real dumbest news, as I literally found this out during testing. When it comes to your opponent being able to disrupt in terms of 3 visits, if they somehow disrupt my monster location in terms of interruptions while 3 visits trigger face up on the field, the search effect does not apply because that target is missed. So in other words, that Ancient Warriors monster has to legit stay on the field to make sure you get your search going. Borrowing of arrows lets you target one face up monster your opponent controls and one Ancient Warriors you control. A monster, of course. Cut the attack in half, and if you do, add that lost attack. So it's Dark Rebellion XZ Dragon Ancient Warriors Edition. And of course, coin toss it. And if heads, send it to the graveyard. And this will help you trigger this to become Ancient Warriors version of Sky Striker multi-roll. Deception and Betrayal. During your main phase, this is your extension of an Ancient Warriors monster, and if you do, take that much damage based off from its level times 100. So if you open up too many big monsters, whether if it's Fearsome Zhang, Savage Dawn, Loyal Guan, or Valiant Jande, this card is your best friend. You can send this face-up card from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, target one Ancient Warriors monster anywhere on the field, change it to any attribute. Then, if you target an opponent's monster, you can take control of it. So, the attribute change is permanent, which I literally found this out, which is beyond fantastic. And more importantly, like 0.01% being the Ancient Warrior mirror match is where, if for whatever the reason you don't have a wind, you could just target one of theirs, make it wind, take control, and that's double Dragon Lords on that play. However, there was a theoretical duel which happened once, and it was versus Sky Striker. The idea was, if for whatever the reason the opponent Shark Cannons one of my Ancient Warriors or Widow Anchors one of my Ancient Warriors monster, we could just go Deception and Betrayal, send it to the graveyard, make it wind, and because we targeted an opponent's monster, we take it back and proceed to play as normal. Extra deck, the 3XZ, Tiger King, Diamond Dire Wolf, Fujinte Kagasuchi. Tiger King matters more because if you don't have Tenki or Tensu, Tiger King can legit fix that for you. And him being a beast warrior version of Skill Drain is beyond absolute brutal, especially the fact that his effect doesn't last until the end of the opponent's turn means anything that's currently on board, you're not going to pretty much get your effects off, by all means. And then the last effect where sending 3 fire formation spells and traps to E-Tele for 2 level 4 lower beast warriors within the same attack and face of defense, that effect literally never happens because it's either A, mistiming, or B, again, it literally never happened. And of course, again, being able to get Tenki or Tensu helps you fix your plays. Diamond Dire Wolf, given the fact that ancient warriors, for whatever the reason, that are beast warriors, in terms of, China lore, you can just actually keep your Diamond Dire Wolf and have one of your other ancient warriors or Brotherhood Buffalo be sacrificed for even more mass removal while you keep Dire Wolf, which is amazing. And this guy was made a few times for the sake of removal. Ujinte Kagesuchi. This card is automatically coming out because Kagesuchi literally never happened once throughout the whole entire season. But the idea about Kagesuchi is if you don't have any offensive plays going, Kagesuchi is to help you stall for quite some time. And if for whatever the reason you milled any ancient warriors in terms of borrowing arrows, if you have 2 or more ancient warriors with different attributes, this lets you place one of these 3 from hand or deck face up, which is nice. But otherwise, Kagesuchi is definitely coming out because this card was never made. As for the links, Naruma Doll, this card is absolutely crap. He is your Scrap Dragon and spell traps. You basically pop one of your own, pop one of your opponents. So if you happen to pop off East by South Winds, you can get your multi-roll effect off. Otherwise, it's like, again, 2 different attributes of Ancient Warriors. If you pop Borrowing of Arrows, this lets you place one of these 3 from hand or deck to the field face up. Or Daruma Doll popping all 3 visits along with something else lets you special and Ancient Warriors from the hand, which is nice. Brotherhood Eagle, it's meant for returning your Tenki or Tensu, Foolish the Buffalo. And Buffalo gets your free extension because, Brotherhood Eagle exists. And the case is, anytime you trigger Fire Fist monsters without sending stuff, you don't have to worry about that. Never an issue. When area, basic, because the majority of the Ancient Warriors lists, some are wind, some are water. And then as for the others, extremely diverse. So when it comes to Bestials, to be specific, your only real hits would be Rebellious and or Savage Dawn. Otherwise, Bestials doesn't do jack versus Ancient Warriors. IP Masquerena, the motorbike version, by the way. Cross Sheep because Beast, for the sake of either Eagle or not Eagle, sorry, Daruma Doll to be specific, or even the 2 Tri-Brigade links, Farragut, Rugal. So yeah, Cross Sheep being a beast means Daruma Doll, Farragut, and or Rugal. Farragut was made once or twice for the sake of extension. Rugal is only meant for recover your lower level ancient warriors, and if they don't do anything to them by the time my turn passes, the recovered ancient warriors monsters that are lower levels, they go back to the hand thanks to Rugal. The graveyard effect to cycle more cards, all from Farajit, it only very rare happens, and then Rugal for the debuff, not so much. Underworld Goddess, tower cards. And obviously, when it comes to cards that are completely cutting on out, Kagasuchi and Cross Sheep were literally never made all season long. So that means I got 2 flex spots in terms of what to put in as replacements. But we'll see what's up in the future. And last but not least, the star of the show. 3 copies of Ancient Warriors Oath Double Dragon Lords. Link to bottom left, bottom right. That takes 2 Beast Warriors, including a Wind Ancient Warriors monster. A lot specific. 1100 attack. All Ancient Warriors you control, self included, gain extra 500 stats, so 1600 attack to start. First chance he's Link Shoken, he lets you add 1 Ancient Warriors card, spell/trap included, from deck to hand. And as a quick effect, you can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, kick it back to the hand. And this card never ceases to amaze me. And when it comes to a number of times post turn 2 or later where a second copy comes up, a second copy comes up like 3 times, because obviously it's pure Ancient Warriors. But otherwise, the royal version of Double Dragon never fails me so much. Like 90% of games going second with this royal never fails so much. And if there's any changes out of the extra deck, Kagasuchi never made it. Cross Sheep never made it. So 2 extra deck flex spots, and we'll see what's up with more Ancient Warriors gameplay in the future. And this has been James Polk with the Season 51 Plat 2 Ancient Warriors. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Smash the notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. And if you are a brand new or a returning Master Duel player, be sure to use my campaign code in the description below so we can gather this year's campaign prizes. I thank you guys for tuning in and catch you guys next season.